Hey, what's up? It's Hoops and Hip Hop, and welcome to the very first episode of Collection Friday. I'm super pumped to be doing something like this with you guys, and today for this first episode, I've decided to share with you guys my collection of Pokemon games. There's a lot to go through here, and I've got some awesome stories to share with you guys, so let's get it started. So starting off with Gen 1, we've got red version, unfortunately without the label. Blue version. Yellow version. This was my first Pokemon game ever. Pretty cool. And I also have the Japanese green version. One cool thing about the Gen 1 games that I've noticed is that the three colors, the ones we got in America, are red, yellow, and blue. And those just happen to be the primary colors. It's pretty cool considering it's the first gen and they went with the primary colors. I find that really cool. I don't know if that was a design choice or if it was just a coincidence, but still really cool nonetheless, and hopefully it's something you guys didn't already know before and you can take something away from this video. I am also fortunate enough to have a boxed copy of Pokemon Red. This thing is way cool. The box is in pretty good shape. Has a little bit of water damage, but not too bad. The back is also really cool, just like a back you'd see on any game nowadays, but I mean, this is how they advertise the first ever Pokemon game. It's pretty cool, especially considering that the boxes are rarer. But the most interesting thing on this whole box isn't on the front or on the back, it's on the spine of the box. Right there. We've got a crying Cubone on this box. I just find that so interesting, and it just makes me wonder, why would they put a crying Cubone on this box? It's really interesting. It makes you wonder what made them choose that, because I mean, you're supposed to be happy when you're playing or wanting to buy a Pokemon game, but then you got a crying Pokemon right there. So really interesting, really cool. And this is also the only place where I've seen this artwork for Cubone, is on this box. So that's also really interesting. But overall, Pokemon Red, super awesome, super cool. Next up we have Gen 2 with gold, silver, and crystal. Gen 2 was probably my favorite generation. It was the perfect balance of new and old. Silver was the first Gen 2 game I played. You had your new Pokemon, but then you also had the good mix of old Pokemon. You still had good old Professor Oak helping you out. And then you got to go to Kanto after you beat the Elite Four. And still to this day, it's the only game where you get to go to another region separate from the one you started in. But overall, these are just absolutely great games. It was the perfect follow-up to the first gen games. I know there must have been a lot of expectations since the first gen games got so popular, but these ones really knocked it right out of the park. And now we've got Gen 3 with Ruby, Sapphire, a boxed copy of Emerald. Now this is super cool. I'm lucky to have this. I love how the box shines. It's in really good condition. There's the back once again, super cool. I also have a boxed copy of Ruby version, in super good condition as well. Way cool. And then we've got Fire Red version, and I also am fortunate enough to have a boxed copy of Fire Red. Makes me feel really good. Super happy about that. And Leaf Green. Now the one thing I want to talk about with Gen 3 is just the different direction it took this series. Gen 3 was unique for a lot of different reasons. The first two generations were directly connected with each other, and these ones had no connection whatsoever to the first two games. In fact, the reason why they remade the Gen 1 games was because they had no way for you to get your Pokemon from your Game Boy games to the Game Boy Advance games, so they had to make a way for you to be able to catch all the Pokemon, and this is what they went with. But due to the popularity, they continued to make them, and that's why we're getting our Ruby and Sapphire remakes in November. They really changed the course of the Pokemon series and gave us something to look forward to other than just a new region every few years. Gave us a chance to see the older games in higher definition, which is really cool. For Gen 4, I've got Diamond version, Pearl version, unfortunately don't have Platinum, and Soul Silver. I started off with Pearl version, and one of the things I like about Gen 4 is that it included a bunch of evolutions of previous Pokemon, like Rhyhorn or Rhydon, and you had Gallade, and you got like Magnezone and all those other ones. I thought that was really cool, and that's something I really liked with Gen 2, was that they did that to kind of like connect to the older Pokemon and give them new life and stuff like that. And we also, in Gen 4, have Soul Silver. Now this is my favorite Pokemon game of all time. I already said that Gen 2 is probably my favorite generation, but this is absolutely my favorite game. I mean, the Gen 2 games were already so good. These remakes perfected them. I mean, they had enhanced graphics. They had new rearranged music that just sounds absolutely phenomenal. They had new features like having a Pokemon follow behind you. That's probably one of the most popular features in any Pokemon game to date. This game is just absolutely perfect, and it's my absolute favorite Pokemon game so far. And now to Gen 5. I've got Black and I've got Black 2. Now these games were I found them pretty interesting. Something that not a lot of people know about the Gen 5 games is that they were designed as a reboot of Gen 1. I mean, there's a lot of signs pointing towards it. We had 156 new Pokemon in this game, which is obviously comparable to the 150 Pokemon we got in Gen 1. In these games, the biggest sign that they're essentially a reboot is that for every new Pokemon in this game, there's a Kanto equivalent for that Pokemon. Like, for example, you have Sock and Throw, who are equivalents of Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. You have the Girder line, Conkeldurr. You have that line that is equivalent to Machop, Machoke, and Machamp. You have Genesect, who is the legendary genetically altered Pokemon who is equivalent to Mewtwo, who is that exact same thing. You have Meloetta, who's the legendary Pokemon who's shy and wanders around and is very curious, and that's the exact same personality that Mew has. So I mean, if you line these two generations of Pokemon up, they're eerily similar, and you'll see what I mean. Then we had Black 2. This is like the first legit sequel we've had in the franchise, and it's first and only time we got Pokemon Fusion. That's really interesting. I mean, that could have been a really gimmicky thing that they did, and it's kind of, people make fun of it, like copying Digimon or whatever. It could have been really gimmicky, but they came up with a really interesting way to do it that tied in with the story. Really cool idea, and it would be interesting if we ever get Pokemon Fusions in the future. Now we're at the current gen with Pokemon X and Y. These games are super cool, obviously. There's not a lot I need to say about them, but first 3D Pokemon games, first games on the 3DS, and only about 72 new Pokemon total, which is by far the lowest we've ever had. But I thought all of the designs were absolutely like really unique, really cool. They were really high quality. I mean, not like Gen 5. There isn't like some garbage Pokemon or something like that people can complain about. Like, there's really no Pokemon that you can complain about as far as its design, because they're all really high quality. And then we got the Mega Evolutions, which everyone was unsure of, didn't know what to think about when they were first announced, but now it's like a staple to Pokemon, and it really is it's a really good way to give new life to the older Pokemon, kind of like the evolutions back in Gen 4, but just a really cool way to do this. It adds a whole new wrinkle to competitive battling, which is awesome. And I mean, this generation is still going. We've got the remakes in November for Ruby and Sapphire, so it'll be interesting to see what this generation ends up looking like when it's all said and done. But so far, so good. It's absolutely great so far. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button right here, or you can hit it down next to my name. I really appreciate that. Also, if you're interested, I have a Facebook and a Tumblr. You can go ahead and follow me there. Links are in the description. And I just want to let you guys know that I've got more content on the way, got more remixes, I've got more Collection Fridays, so keep tuning in, and I would really appreciate that. Thanks. See you in the next video.